3/4 inches of that, and here we're down to perhaps 1 3/4 inches. Our wearing course is up to about 1.4 inches. The total core thickness here is about 9 1/4. Right now I'm just upstream from SPS3 test section 018350, which is the chip seal. And then there's the bridge looking back from downstream of it that I was referring to. Rather than start the chip seal right at the bridge, I decided to start it immediately downstream from some traffic loops that we had. So that's going to give us only it's slightly about 150-foot lead-in into the chip seal section. I suspect they may be using these loops for other things, or maybe adding some more into them for our uses, and thought it'd be best just to avoid any interference that the mainstream that we're going to be applying might have on that equipment. Material coming out of this hole looks about as uniform as we've seen in any of the holes throughout. All the colors about the same. It looks like there's about the same mix of sandy sized material with gravelly sized material in there. At any rate, our subgrade is going to remain coarse. Again, we have not been able to make any distinction on any determination as to the thicknesses of the individual base layers down there. This will be classified as a GPS-1 project, and with a high thickness of asphalt concrete, doesn't really matter a whole lot for all practical purposes. The thing that you can see looking up here, I'll back away to show it in both wheel pads, is the rutting that we have here. You can see how the water used for pouring has ponded in the wheel pads. Material just to show it up here. This is damp, but it's not nearly as wet as the material in the other holes was. Still, it's got some clay fraction in it, but it's predominantly sand with some gravel as well as some clay mixed in. You see the crushed gravel here. We classified as coarse grain. In fact, one could say, considering how the soil is in the entire embankment, that we have a full depth asphalt concrete here with just the soil and aggregate base and subgrade also, but we'll worry about that distinction later. I don't think it matters really in terms of the cell classification. The base thickness here would be considered low anyway, whether we have 0 inches or 6 inches. It's not going to be any more than 6 inches, if any at all. AC stiffness here would probably be called high. Traffic would be high. We'll go ahead and determine a cell classification to it at a later date and submit that on to TRDF so they can size this up. Actually, this winds up being not too different than the pavement that we had intended to choose for this GPS section number up in northwest Alabama. That was the main difference there, is that we had a high base thickness associated with that, but we had a high asphalt thickness, coarse subgrade, and so on. Here we've got high asphalt thickness and coarse subgrade, but our base thickness is going to be counted as low. Here we got this core upstream from 01A350, and what we see here is about 1.5 inches total thickness on the wearing layer. See the distinction right in there, and you can see, you can read the rule as well as I can. We're back up to around a little over 2 inches.